Hello everyone and welcome to my stream. I am Ninja Guy VR and today we are interviewing some pretty cool people on the iTai show. So for the people who don't know iTai, it's a show that I do where I interview indie developers. And there's also something very special about my show that nobody else does. What is it? Well, it is that I wear a tie, my friend. And today I am wearing my yellow tie because of a special event. Oh, honey, you have no idea what this is about. Just bear with me, and you will see. You will see, guys. You will see. So today, I have the special opportunity to announce a new game from VR Monkey, and this is going to be at the second half of the show. So stay with us, guys, and it's going to be super interesting. Just looking at the chat, we've got Dead Alive, my friend. Welcome to the stream. It's starting, but I will watch later. No problem. See you later, Dead Alive, and welcome to the iTai show. All right, guys. Without further ado, let me introduce you guys to the guests of today. It is none other than co-founder Pedro and community manager Thais, which I will probably call Orbits. I'm so used to call you your username, so I will be doing that. But thank you so much, guys, for taking the time for this. I know you guys are really busy with a lot of development and all of that.
No, that's a pleasure to be here. We love to just talk to everyone who has been playing our games and who like VR Monkey for all we have been doing. We are a little bit OGs in that aspect. We have been working with VR for the past 10 years since the old Gear VR games. And it's so good to see that now we have been publishing games on the official Meta store that just changed the name, and now it's Horizon Store or something like that because they open up that now. That's
That's
here,
true.
but
That's true. Now that you mentioned that, I'll never get used to it. I'll probably still call it the Quest Store until the end of time, you know? And I'm sure
I
that
still
some
call
people call
Oculus
it.
most of the time. Like,
Yeah. I'm sure some people still call it the Oculus Store, you know? Like it changes all the time. So, for the people who don't know you, can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit of what you do in VR Monkey? And I'll start with Pedro.
yeah, of course. My name is Pedro Kayat. I'm the co-founder and CEO of VR Monkey. I'm a computer engineer by my master's degree. I used to do a lot of programming, and to be honest, I still do some programming. That's even a little bit of the way that I do relaxing, as crazy as this sounds. I have been doing a lot of developing on the Galaxy Kart game. I was responsible for a big part of the optimizations and the things that we did for the Quest version. And I also do the CEO stuff that's strategic and doing business, talking to other companies, and the things that like someone who is in charge of a company must do. So that's me. Thanks.
I'm Faith, but you can call me Orbit as Ninja Tech. I am community manager here at PR Monkey. I've been working with plenty of games here, such as Drunken Bar Fight, Honeypot, in the future, something Honeypot in the Honeypot. I don't know which is, but you're gonna see it later on in the live stream. Galaxy Kart and Cycling. So yeah, I do basically content for social media, marketing, everything related to this, even live streams. I just finished doing a live stream here with a PFR2. That's it. Just a quick sum. And nice to meet you so much. And as Ninja have been supporting us so much, so I'm extremely excited to show you what we have here, and it's such a honor to be here, and I'm really really happy, and not only with the interview, but with this whole uh, journey that we've been through now, and seeing how much not only our games have been starting to be recognized, but the studio itself is starting to be really really known by the VR community, and it's crazy how people are giving so much support. So I'm really, really, really happy.
Yeah, there's a lot of history in VR Monkey, and I think like even if we just count this year, you know, there's been so much thing happening, right, throughout these years. So the things has definitely been moving, and not only we'll be talking about Galaxy Kart and uh, I was about to say the reveal, but I mean we've hinted it already. But we'll also be talking a little bit about other things that's been happening in the background. So yeah, in the background. So
Yeah,
it's
it's going to be exciting.
oh definitely yeah, looking forward to it. So Pedro, can you tell us, a little bit of history of yourself? You know, how? Let's start first by how did you got into gaming, up until to when you've created VR Monkey, or maybe the previous name that it was in the past.
Yeah, it's funny because like I think as most of people in the art industry, I grew up playing games and I was in love with games. And I started working pretty young. Like I used to have 14 years old and I was working with computers and in an assistance, fixing computers, doing formats and stuff like that. In the time that I even memorized the key code for installing a Windows 98 copy. So I still have in my mind. And I realized at that point that I wanted to work with developing games. And basically, I tried to structure all my life towards that. So I entered a computer engineering company, entered a computer engineering college to work with games. And then I did a double degree program to go to Italy because in Brazil, there is not exactly a gaming industry so far. That's one of my dreams, personal dreams, that I want to increase the gaming industry in Brazil to be, something related. As you probably understood right now, we are from Brazil. We are in São Paulo, Brazil. That's a big country, but still developing in that sense. And I went to Italy to work with games to learn more and then to try to bring that to Brazil. At the time, I had the opportunity to work in an indie studio called Novecento Games, like 900 games. It was a pretty fun time when I started working developing for Wii, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360. And it was a challenge because I never had experience with consoles and everything. I learned a lot there, and then I came back to Brazil. I started working on feature phone games in Club Mobile. That's the game who does Kardashian and these other games. They had a franchise here, like one branch of the company in Brazil. And I remember I was so excited because I was working in Call of Duty Black Ops for feature phones before smartphones. So they were like games, 16-bit games. They were terrible. We needed to keep like frame rates as high as 8 frames per second.
Oh my
Like
gosh!
that was the yes, that was the look for phase. Like 8 frames per second was approved. I was yes.
Wow!
We need to go from 6 to 8, and now the game can run on and it was like hell. And then it came the smartphone revolution for games. Like doing games for smartphones were like a totally different case than it was before. And Brazil grew a lot in that period. And I went to a startup that they had a game about smashing ants.
No.
Like probably everyone has played that game or saw a video of the frog playing the game. It went viral, and the guys made a tons of money, and the company started to grow. And I was like the 50th guy there. Like we were in 4 before me, and then I joined it, and then we grew for 40. But at some point, the guy on the company said, the money is not in the games. The money is in the advertising for the games. So I want to build an advertising platform instead of keep doing games. I said, yeah, thank you. I don't. So I'm going to leave because I want to do games. And for a small period of time, I was unsure what I was going to do with my life. And I was like, should I don't know, become a teacher? Should I go to work on Microsoft, Google, or a big IT company? What do I do? And then I went to do another master's in my university, that's University of São Paulo. And at the same time, I opened at the company that at the time was Naked Monkey Games. Doing exactly what I was doing before, that was mobile and tablet games. I was in love with that, but we had a proposal to try to bring game mechanics from portable console games to mobile. Like one of our first games was kind of a Patapon, the PSP game, but for mobile. It was called Patapon.
Wow, same name almost. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, but doing games is hard, and mobile games is really hard. And if you were not investing a lot of money or at the right time or had the lucky to get one of the big guys to review your game, it was hard to keep pushing money back to the company. We were doing okay, although, but it was in 2014 that I tried the first time the first developer kit of Oculus Rift, like the first DK one, and damn, that was bad.
Oh,
It was a terrible red headset, terrible, like pixels all over the place, screen door effect, only turned off. My computer at the time couldn't run the things at 60 frames per second, but even though I was trying, and even with everything against it, I saw in VR something that it was incredible. Like I said, this can be huge. This can fulfill the dreams of so many people who have been playing games for so long. That's to be inside the game. Never before you could be inside the game. You could, be immersed on the story, keep thinking about the story. You could be playing the game for hours, but you never could impersonate the characters or the avatars as you wanted before. And when I tried the first time, I said, this is it. I want to do this. I want to do VR, and I want to see where we can go with VR. I want to discover a new way to do games. I want to understand what VR can give us that other platforms can't. So that's basically the history of. And at that point, we got an investment from an angel, and it was like enough for us to buy computers to be able to play VR, basically, because we didn't have that at the time. And we put some headset on the monkey, so the monkey was not naked anymore, and it became a VR monkey instead of
nice.
naked monkey.
Very nice.
So
And
the logo was exactly the same monkey without the headset. Just
so,
that.
so you had to, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't make sense anymore, right? It wouldn't be a naked monkey, so you had to change the name, or else the company would have failed. It's a fact. Yeah, yeah. So. That was a very interesting history, and from then on, we've seen some pretty cool games such as Viking Days, the Rabbit Hole. There's a motorcycle riding game that Apocalypse Rider. Yeah, some very nice old school game which people should look at. It's on Steam. It's still available on Steam VR. It's still available on PSVR 1, I believe, some of them. So check it out. But now I'm also curious about Orbit's history. So Orbit's, when did you start gaming up until you became a community manager at VR Monkey?
So it started from as a kid. I was always really really passionate about technology, and I even have a picture with myself from my from 5-year orbit in these old computers that we have, like the white ones, and I was so mesmerized by it, and I was really really always interested about how we could we can for other worlds differently with technology. And when I started gaming, I remember I was always visiting my family, and we used to play Xbox a
Hmm.
lot, and uh, that was it, that is actually one of the main things for my personal life that makes my heart really warm. And I started at first discovering 3D modeling and animating. And even though I always loved that, I felt the need of doing something more than just drawings. And I felt the need of creating stories with my on my art and having really the feeling the character and expressing myself and my thoughts, my feelings with it. And then I thought, why not making games? You know, so I started at first. I remember I almost studied graphic design. I don't remember the year. I'm feeling old right now, but I don't remember the year. I remember I was 18 years old, and I almost started, taking classes of graphic design, but I was not fulfilled yet. I was no, I want more. I do love it, but I want more. And I thought, wow, I do love games. It's like one of the most favorite things in my life. We're not making games, but as Kaya said, I was really afraid if this was something that was going to be great here in Brazil, because things here it's
Very risky.
starting to
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was really seen as a people didn't care that much about games or didn't take it seriously. Like games. No, go have a real job. What? So I was really really scared, and even when I was studying games at college, I started working as a film dev just to to still understand. But I always knew that I wanted to do games because I felt the need of experiencing things in my own skin and feeling the stories, not only sharing my own stories, but feeling other people's stories. And and then when I firstly met VR, I don't remember the name now, but the first ever game that I played was a potion VR game. There's a school that just keeps provoking you, and you need to create potions. And that was one of the first ever. Well, it was the first ever game that I played on VR, and I was what the first thing that I have ever seen at that time about VR was the planky, the planky. I don't
Richie's
understand.
plank
Yeah,
experience, yeah.
time that got so viral, people just start was playing it on at the mall, and people were just fall over, and that was so funny. That was the only thing that I knew about VR. But when I firstly had a real experience of a game, I was that's different. Like I love games, but we have more things about that. We now we can really feel that we are the characters, or just seeing the stories, but really moving, really having in your own eyes. And then when I started to work with, a VR monkey and know even more and more about it, and finally doing, uh, being in depth of the games, it was something, I dream. Finally, my dream is fulfilled. That achievement unlocked it. Finally. And I do love every game that I work with. But when I started to work with Skyclimb, I'm a Nintendo fan. So when I started to work with Skyclimb and Galaxy Kart actually, because I started to work with Galaxy Kart for I was yeah, okay, that's kind of crazy. I always wanted to have a game that was that made me remember my favorite ones. Mario Kart is by far my most favorite game. I don't know how many hours I got on Mario Kart when I had my Nintendo DS. I can't even count it, but when I started, working with Galaxy Kart, okay, that's fire. And then now Skyclimb, which is a Super Mario Mario one platformer, they can be a Mario, but it's kind and it's colorful because Mario itself is colorful, but Skyclimb is even more colorful and cute. But also, you have the social feeling. You can talk with people, you can like people, but in a good way, in a funny way.
Yeah.
And Ninja know it, and Ninja know that. We've left so many times, so many.
Guys, don't stop talking about like we slapped each other so many times. It was so good. That can be. Get, there's several good ways, guys. Keep it. Keep it.
I love the term frenemies. Like when you play, it's just like, yeah, it's your friends, but are they really? Especially when you play Galaxy Kart and Skyclimb. I don't know. I don't feel like you guys are too much of my friends anymore, but I would still give you a hug. So frenemies, I think that's a good term. Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting story. I love it. It's you guys are very passionate. It definitely shows from your point of view, and I love that. I love to that's why I love to talk to you guys so much, because you're so passionate about it, and that's awesome. So guys, let's go ahead and start talking about our first subject, which is Galaxy Kart. So the game actually just came out on MetaQuest just maybe 2 weeks ago. It's very recent, but it's been available, on other platforms in the past. So it got a very nice launch, some very nice patch done already in the game, and it's fully completed. So for those who don't know, Galaxy Kart, for me personally, is the best kart experience in VR. There's other experience, but this one is the one that I enjoy the most. For those unfamiliar with the genre, if you don't know any kart game, it's kind of weird, but anyway, it's an arcade racing game. But the main aspect is that you obtain items such as bombs to throw at enemies to slow them down. There's other aspects like hitting boosts to go quick and stuff like that. So guys, can you tell me in your own words, what Galaxy Kart is and what makes the game so unique?
It's easy to say that Galaxy Kart main inspiration is Mario Kart VR. Like the first time that I had the opportunity to go to Japan and to go to Shinjuku VR Zone, and when I was there, I had the experience of being in the real Mario Kart VR experience that was just for arcades. I was astonished. Like that was amazing, and I was so sad that nobody at their homes could have something like that. And then we said, okay, let's try to build that up. Let's make our version of Mario Kart. But I said to the guys, I don't want a copycat. I don't want to make Mario Kart VR. I want to put a plus on it. I want to make it more than it. So we started to talk a lot about League of Legends and games that they have characters that you really empathize with them. So characters that are fun, that you like, and then you can say, my favorite character on this game is, I don't know, Riven, it's Yasuo, or no, I like to play as Ryu, as Cam. Games that they have personality. So Galaxy Kart, I was even digging up right now, just before the interview, the original roster that we suggested for Galaxy Kart. We pitched 72 characters.
72?
72.
Wow.
Yes. And then I just put it on the Discord channel. And then we started to vote, okay, let's select 8 of these guys to make them the main roster right now. And if the game starts to go well, we can do like season updates, like as people does in League of Legends, and pushing more and more characters. And each one of these characters, they must have a unique skill. So you like that guy because you can use that guy in a way that others don't understand how to use it, or you can have an edge because you are using the Harley, and then you know how to boost Harley without go off track. Or oh no, I like to be cheat dog because I can throw the ketchup over the guys, and even if they are in front of me or if they are before me, they will never reach me out. So that's Galaxy Kart. It's Mario Kart with a hero-based, skill-unique combat system.
That's cool.
You have, I want to say about Below, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Below, I really, really, it's one of my favorite characters. And actually, I am so honored because in the credits, we have, for each area, if I'm not wrong, we have like different characters.
yes.
And mine is Below. I was, what? No, you put my favorite one. I'm so honored. Below has a pretty funny story. He's even though Bilu from Galaxy Kart is a unique character, he has a pretty funny backstory, right? Brazilian backstory is a actually it's a audience that people found it here. That used to say things like search for knowledge. I don't remember the
Yeah, you busquem conhecimento, search for knowledge.
search for knowledge. Let's get conhecimento with a really like strange voice, and that
It's kind of hoax, like I don't know, maybe 12 years ago, something like that. It went to the television, even not only YouTube, but even television. They started to show a very strange recording of someone taking a shot of the woods, and from the woods, two shining eyes and a voice, high pitch, talking. Hey guys, good to see you here. And now I bring a message for humanity. You just need to search for enlightenment. Go for it. So if you look for Alien Below on YouTube, you probably can find that video. And we try to put memes and a lot of backstory on all the characters from Galaxy Kart. For instance, there is a robot that his name is Alex because we thought about Alexa from Amazon.
Oh.
So in the future, we understand that Alexa is gonna turn that robot basically.
Alex 2.0, right?
Yeah,
Oh
Alex
boy,
to the phone.
that you don't mess with the robot.
Yeah,
So
I really recommend searching for the video from the room.
you know what? I didn't know any background stories from these characters, and I didn't know the aspect. There was like a League of Legends aspect of it, but it's true. Like they all have like special abilities that you can use, and if you like a special ability, then you like this character, and you'll start talking about him. That's true. I'll need to read those character bios at some point. We've got someone in the chat. I think Fitz mentioned. Yeah, he mentioned the game looks stunning, and I do have a question toward that. So, the stages are actually pretty grand. I was playing it this morning, or was it this morning? Or I think it was yesterday. So you can see like big things such as like a pirate ship up very far, or just like a dragon flying far off the map. So did you guys encounter any like challenges when crafting all of these maps? I know the answer, but
It is crazy because we start developing this game back in 2019.
Wow.
So that brings 5 years ago. And at the time, we said to ourselves that we would bring the game to the PlayStation VR 1 because there was no way that Oculus Go could run that game. So we started to create the game aiming for PlayStation VR 1. But we had a problem and the game went to developer hell. At some point, we couldn't bring the game to really be playable. So after, I don't know, we spent around almost a year in the game. It went to the fridge, and it stayed in the fridge for 2 years. When back in 2021, 2022, we got the game back. So we said, "No, we got a government grant to work on the game,"
Oh,
and then we said, "Let's finish the game. That there is too much potential on these games for us to not finish the game." We had a lot of problems with the production pipeline of the game. We learned a lot of it
yeah.
because for the first, just a second, the first level of the game, in fact, was the Pirate Bay, the Volcano Cove. So for the Volcano Cove, we took kind of a year to model out the level. And then we said, no, we can't spend too much time doing each one of the levels. Otherwise, we will take, like, I don't know, 20 years to finish this game. So we took a different approach. And then we spent 7 months doing the second level. That's Station 8. That's the first level of the game.
7 months.
And we
Wow.
said,
Yeah.
it's still not good. We will not finish this game if we take 6 months for each one of the tracks.
Yeah.
And that was really problematic at the time. But then we took back the game and we said, no, let's improve the pipelines, let's fix the problems, let's do this game. But as we started to create the game again in 2022, we said, let's not focus on PlayStation VR 1 anymore because it's past.
Mhm.
Let's focus on PlayStation VR 2 that's about to come and PC VR. And let's not worry about performance issues. And we will not aim for MetaQuest because at the time Meta didn't approve the game.
Mm.
So we didn't have the approval of the game. So we went and we made a game for PC VR and PlayStation VR 2. And we started to improve the pipelines to produce more levels faster. But still, it was hard. Like, I think we took 3 months for each new track, and it was too much time.
Oh no.
But we managed to have, I think it was 4 tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 tracks at launch, and then we had 2 coming up, almost finished it. So we had 4 tracks, just 4 tracks at the launch
Yeah.
when we finished the game for PSVR 2. And that was terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible because
Can you talk
we
about
talk
that?
like-
Yeah.
we have 4 tracks. We have like different difficulties. We have the multiplayer. We have a game that's really good, but it wasn't enough.
Mhm.
But we wanted to launch as soon as possible because we saw the opportunity that there were few games on PSVR 2. It was, I don't know, March, and PSVR 2 had just launched in January or February. We said, let's do it. Let's launch the game, and then we can keep doing updates and improving the game. And let's just try to warn people that it's an early access. It was a bad move. Nobody on PlayStation VR 2, nobody on PS5 is ready for early access titles. That's the truth. They wanted to have a full-fledged game, and we were not a full-fledged game. Even though we had multiplayer, even though there were the core of the game was there, we didn't deliver what people were expecting. But luckily, we got a team keeping supporting the game, keeping improving the game. We started to deliver 1, 2, 3 tracks every month until the point that we had 18 tracks. We were the only second game apart from Gran Turismo to implement wheel support, and
Nice.
the only VR game with multiple wheel support and motion controller support. Like, it's the only game that you can play with one hand on the wheel and another using the VR controller.
One of my favorite features ever. It's another experience, you know. And playing Galaxy Kart normally is amazing, but using the wheel is another thing. When I first played it, I was like, okay, now I got it. Now I got why the community wanted this so much. It's another level of experience, and with the habits too.
Yeah,
So,
it has to be
Haptics is
also
good. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
like everything.
yeah.
And the HDR screen on the PSVR 2 make the game so beautiful.
Mm.
Then we finally got attention from Meta, and they said that they wanted the game to be on the Quest. So we said, okay, let's do it. To be honest, I at the first I thought that it would be an impossible task because the game was barely running at 90 Hz on PSVR 2. but we learned so much and so many tools. And like anyone who knows VR Monkey knows that we have been doing PSVR 2 ports and doing optimizations and improvements on games. And like I think we shipped close to 16 games on PSVR 2 already.
7% of all games right now is from VR Monkey on PSVR 2, which is crazy. Like that's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is.
And we managed to make the game. Like at the first I said, let's try to use that stuff called application space warp, and then we could run at 36 frames per second. It can work, even though I know that's a problem, that that fast stuff may give some problems with the graphics. And I was trying to use application space warp, and shit, it was terrible. terrible. Everything got started like it was like a nice effect if you were turboing, but for really doing the game was terrible. So we went and spent a lot of time improving the performance of the game until we finally got 72 frames smooth without hiccups, without stuttering. We implemented a lot of custom caching for the game. For funny story is that we couldn't avoid some stuttering until late development, like previous to go through the QA or meta. And at some point I said, you know what we should do? While the game is still loading the level, before the start of the racing, we should make, while in the phase, you should make the racer go one lap. So this is what happens. Before the start of the game, the player just speed up around the level, the entire level, to load all the textures and all the models. Otherwise, there was a stuttering for the first time we're playing the game.
That is cool. There's always little tricks like that, right? That makes it so good. By the way, guys, what you're seeing right now is actually the Quest version of the game. So it's very pretty. You know, it runs very well. I think I'm recording at 60 frames per second, but like Pedro said, it's 72. So it's it's amazing what you guys have done. It's an amazing port of the game, and it's really fun. Before we jump onto the announcement, I just want to ask one last thing. So is the game right now, it's fully completed, but are you guys still open at making more improvement to the game, or and things like that, if it's still supported by the players?
Of course, we have a roadmap until at least the end of the year. Ooh. So there is an update coming. We are just in the internal testing of the update. Okay. We increased resolution for the Quest 3 on those updates. We made a new power-up that's kind of the blue shell from Mario Kart. We call it Mega Missile. Yeah. That you just shoot something that hits just the player who is in the first position. There is also 2 new characters that are coming up, and also cross-play support for PSVR 2.
Wow. Okay. Excuse me. No, this is awesome. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be like the last stretch of making this game perfect. So it's going to be cool. Hopefully we see maybe a Galaxy Kart 2 later on. Maybe it'll be an ongoing series. Who knows? But guys, I think it's time to go on the cherry on the top of the cake and talk about the next game. So guys, VR Monkey is planning to announce a game on Tokyo Game Show. This is their next title, and but they were really kind and gave the opportunity today to give us a premiere of the trailer of the game. So without further ado, guys, let me introduce you guys to the newest game from VR Monkey. Here it goes. guys, we just kept talking while during the trailer. We're so excited. But yeah, there it is, Honey Pot. Very exciting. We got a banner in the back, and we've got I have so many questions. This trailer, it just shows so much stuff. But before I ask any questions, I want to ask you guys, Pedro and Orbit. So what is the game? What is it about? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Honeypot, it's basically, we always wanted to do the favorite kind of games that we like to play. So tower defense came into our minds, but we wanted to do a tower defense game like mix it with something from Overcooked, something that brings people together, makes people to collaborate and to play together. It's really social. So that's the core theme from Honeypot, to make first a tower defense game in VR that works, like not something that is just not only step by step, but like turns real time tower defense. A little bit closer to Earth Must Die, or there is the defense, something that I forgot right now, or even Fortnite. Fortnite Save the World is a good example of what has inspired us to make Honeypot, because at the same time you need to collect resources, you need to increase the honey output from your hive, and you need that honey to build the towers and to build the right towers against the bears. You also need to shoot arrows at them, and that's part that I love. Sorry.
Many different options to defeat the enemies.
Yes, and there are bosses, there are boss fights that you need to, shoot the weak point of the boss so the towers can work on the minions. So there is a lot of going on in Honeypot. And the main idea of Honeypot is that we want to have a playground, because it can sound stupid, because a lot of game companies, they just focus in one genre. So they say, we did Galaxy Kart, you should do another racing game. Or you did Skyclimb, you should do another platform game. Or you did... We usually don't do that. We like to experiment a lot. And when we go close to something, because like the challenge for Galaxy Kart was to make a racing game that doesn't make people sick.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the first things that we had in mind. Like, if you played other kart games, other racing games in VR, you realize that they don't have VR design in mind. You get sick pretty quickly on them. Like Galaxy Kart has a lot of features, not only the turning view, but the way that we designed the circuits, the tracks, the way that we do the jumps, the acceleration, the top speed, everything in the game was thought to be VR comfortable.
And even the visuals on the maps, right?
Yes. And Honeypot, on the other hand, we saw that we could play with a mechanic of flying. So you're a bee because you fly.
You can actually fly in the game. That is cool. So I understand the tower defense part, right? You saw the bees attacking the bear. Of course, they probably want to steal their honey, but there's just so much stuff happening. Like, I have so many questions. Like, you do the Macarena, you do weightlifting. There's just so much stuff. Can you talk about? Are you allowed to talk about what else you can do in the game outside of the tower defense part?
Of course, like the tower defense, there is a campaign that you can play single or co-op. But after playing the game, we realized that people just like to hang out in that environment. They just like to be bees. They just like to keep flying around the beautiful scenarios. They like to play catch, play tag. They just enjoy being in the game.
Talking to each other and seem like they are hanging out on real life, but with something more than being just a human.
Yes, so we have been working a lot on this concept of a playground. So right now we developed several mini games where the people just, they join the lobby, they find each other together, and then they can play on these mini games. They can just, play racing, they can play tag. They can just we are working on a fighting in a way, like a kind of a shooting where you use the bow and the arrow to shoot balloons on the back of the beast. So there are a lot of stuff going on in the game that we just want to make a playground. Like it's kind of a sandbox, but without the building stuff that sandbox have. Like, but we want to make a place where people can enjoy being together.
I can see people just buying the game to be, just to enjoy the social side of the game. So that is pretty cool. We also saw kind of cosmetics, right? Like a spider bee. That had to be inspired by Pedro. I know, Pedro, you're a big fan of Spider-Man. So I'm thinking you must have had that idea. So how does cosmetics work? Are they all like unlocked right away, or do you have to work for them? And how will it work?
Yeah, the idea is that you can buy the skins with in-game currency, but you can also buy currency. So the more time you spend on the game, you can get the things, the cosmetics. But we're still working a lot on that. Like, I don't know how many skins we have right now, but we have a lot of skins.
I know there's well, the amount of skins that we have in trailer is not even the half of it. I don't remember the number of it, but there's too many ideas coming soon, and also not only skins for the character themselves, but we do have other years with different themes of all. So not gonna spill so many tea, but we have even characters based on other characters that were special in our own lives. So you're going to see the same thing you saw the Spider-Man inspired character. We have a lot of others, and yeah, that's truly something that I'm really excited to finally show. And the being in a world where you can defeat enemies with the help of others, it's funny, but also Honeypot does have the funny part thing that you can use your not. I'm not going to use the word use, but you can also make funny, goofy things with your friends. So the main objective of the game is not only creating the towers and strategies, but also the social part is extremely important in VR games, and Honeypot is coming to bring this social things really strongly. So I'm excited to see how people are going to interact with it. And the part of flying, one of the main things that really makes Honeypot different is you cannot just fly. It's not a button that you just press and okay, I fly. You need to bring the workout thing. Okay, you need to work for that. So it's really funny to just play with people and trying to run in the air. So it's really exciting, really exciting.
It sounds like there might be some mayhem in there, at some point. But speaking of mayhem, Games with T have a question for Orbits. He's asking, is this another game that Orbits will bully me in?
Yes.
Easy answer.
Wait for me, Games with T. You came to the stream, right? To spill the tea for my boss? You're kidding. Oh, okay, I can't explain. Yes, I'm going to bully you.
Here it is.
Really? Buddy something? Someone? No, acabar. Better than her, and then bully her.
Yeah, so
No.
the hardest part of working at VR Monkey is Orbits bullying everybody in the game. So yeah.
There is people who has a darker heart.
Oh boy.
If everyone ever have played with Danny, Rodrigo, But Rodrigo, don't play Galaxy Kart with Danny. He is
Taking notes, taking notes.
he's dark. He's dark. That's the only word. Like he likes to grab all the items that can make you sad and then shoot them all together in you, so you get stuck. And then oh man, let me just play.
Yeah.
Stop that.
I have a friend like that. It's so funny. He tries to find every single way to die in a game. when I play with him, it's so it's funny. Guys, I think we have time for only one more questions. And my question is, can you tell us, if you're allowed, which platform this game is aiming to be available on?
Honeypot's gonna be available on all platforms, meaning MetaQuest, probably Pico, and
wow.
PSVR 2. And Steam VR, of course. Like our main focus, as usual, is the quests. Although there is no official store anymore, we are talking to Meta to bring it to good quality. One thing that has been hard for us is that although we have been doing a good work for the past 10 years, we never got a publisher. We never got funding apart from a little bit of government funding to create our games. We do everything ourselves, and that has been hard because we need to sell a lot of PSVR 2 ports to pay for one game. So please help us, guys, to sell more Galaxy Kart and Skyclimb so we can finally do more games on our own.
You see?
Yeah. And guys, they have other games in the back. They do let us try some stuff in the back, and they're still working on. So it's all about the funding. So if you guys enjoy it, there's a lot more stuff to come. It's very interesting. Looking forward to see what they have in the back for later. And even if it's originally built on quests, just to let you guys know, they did that with Skyclimb, and then they ported it to PSVR 2, and it looked amazing. It really doesn't affect the quality of a more powerful hardware. So definitely look out for some really good ports of the game. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Stay tuned. Tokyo Game Show. We might see even more information on the game. Looking forward to it. But before we end, do you guys have anything else you'd like to say about VR Monkey or the games that you guys are working on?
I have a funny challenge. Actually, Kayat voiced a character from Honeypot. I want you to try to discover it. You can find it on Twitter. I want you to find it. Yeah, if you can find it, I'll challenge you.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I'll do my best. All right, guys. Thanks again for coming. Really appreciate it. And have a nice weekend. It's the weekend. And for the watchers, keep a lookout. I'll be doing some more interviews and maybe have some more exclusives. So that should be pretty fun. Thanks again, Pedro and Thais, for coming, and have yourself a wonderful rest of Friday. Bye, everyone.
You too, Ninja. See ya. Thanks.
Watch that.